Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a huge question for parents everywhere. How do you teach your child English and give them that amazing bilingual advantage? We're going to break down how to make it fun and, actually work for both of you.
I mean, let's be real, this is the big worry, isn't it? The thought that teaching your kid another language is going to turn into this huge, frustrating battle. But what if it didn't have to be like that at all? What if it could be a fun adventure instead of a daily chore?
Okay, so before we get into the how-to, we really have to understand the why. Because giving your child a second language isn't just about adding another skill to their resume. It's more like giving their brain a massive operating system upgrade. So what's with this number? Well, it points to a benefit that is just staggering. It turns out scientific studies have found that being bilingual can actually delay the onset of dementia, and that includes Alzheimer's, by an average of 4.5 years. It's this incredible gift that you give them now, but it pays off for the rest of their lives.
And the perks aren't just for way down the road. Right now, as they're learning, bilingual kids are basically developing cognitive superpowers. We're talking more flexible thinking, which means better problem solving. They have better focus and can switch between tasks way more easily. They even have an easier time learning to read. It's like you're handing them this entire mental toolkit for being a sharper, more agile thinker.
So the benefits are pretty undeniable, right? The next question is obvious. Where do you even start? Well, the good news is you absolutely do not need to be a professional teacher. Let's walk through a simple, practical plan for your own home.
So, is there a magic window, a perfect age to start? Well, while there's no single right answer, most experts will tell you that you can start as early as 3 or 4 years old. The main thing is to start once their speech in their native language is starting to take shape. Kids are just natural-born mimics at this age, which makes it the absolute perfect time to introduce new sounds.
Now let's tackle a huge worry I hear all the time. Won't I just confuse my child? You might notice them mixing up languages. It's a real thing called language interference. But you need to know this is 100% normal and totally temporary. It's just a sign that their brain is working hard to organize 2 different language systems. They'll grow right out of it, as long as you give them clear boundaries.
So how do you create those boundaries? Here are 2 super simple but incredibly powerful strategies. First, there's the one parent, one language rule. This is amazing for multilingual families. Maybe mom only speaks English with the child, and dad only speaks Spanish. The second one, which is great for everybody, is the one situation, one language rule. Maybe English is just the language for playtime or for car rides. Whichever one you pick, the real secret is consistency. We've covered the why, the when, and some of the how. But now we get to the most important part, the ultimate secret. The key to all of this isn't grammar drills or boring flashcards. It's something you already do every single day. It's play.
I mean, think about it. When learning feels like a game, it's not work anymore, right? Play just lights up a kid's brain, it gets them emotionally invested, and it locks new words and ideas into their memory way, way better than any boring old lesson ever could.
And what's so cool about play is that it grows right along with your child. For your little preschooler, a simple game of Simon Says is perfect for teaching them to listen to English instructions. As they get a bit older, something like story cubes can totally unleash their creativity and storytelling in English. And for a teenager, a fast-paced competitive game of Taboo is an incredible way to build their vocabulary. The sky's the limit here.
All right, so beyond games, what other things can you put in your English learning toolkit? Let's do a quick fire round of some really fun and easy resources you can start using, right now.
First off, never, ever underestimate the power of a simple song. Songs like Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes are gold mines. They're all about repetition and rhythm, which is fantastic for memory. Plus, they connect words to actions, so your kid is literally doing the language, which really helps with pronunciation in a super fun, natural way.
And of course, we live in a digital world with amazing tools. Reading together is huge, especially books with tons of pictures so they can follow the story even if they don't know all the words. Then you have great educational apps like Khan Academy Kids that make learning feel like a game. And hey, don't knock the classics. Making your own flashcards is still a really fun and effective way to build vocabulary.
This whole idea of learning through games has gotten so big that it's actually a massive business model now. Companies like NovaKid, for instance, have built their entire platform on the same ideas that make online video games so addictive. The teacher's like a guide, and the kids learn by going on missions and getting rewards.
And if you need proof that this approach is for real, just follow the money. In one single round of funding, that company raised $35 million. That's how much confidence the world has in the power of turning education into a truly engaging game.
Okay, we've talked a lot about all the things you should do, but it's just as important to know what not to do. So let's cover a few common traps that can turn this whole thing from a joy into a total drag.
It really all boils down to two paths you can take. On the left, you've got the pressure path, forcing it, getting mad about mistakes, and just creating a ton of anxiety. That's the fastest way to make them hate it. On the right, you've got the positivity path, celebrating every little win, making it fun, and focusing on their excitement. Your vibe here is everything.
And here are a few other quick traps to watch out for. 1. Don't use boring materials. If your kid loves trucks, find English stuff about trucks. 2. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't expect perfection overnight. And finally, even if they're in a class, you have to get involved at home. That's the secret ingredient that makes it all stick.
Look, if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Your enthusiasm is so much more important than your perfection. It doesn't matter if you have an accent. It doesn't matter if your grammar isn't perfect. Your kid doesn't need a world-class English professor. They need a fun and encouraging partner. Your positive energy is the most powerful tool you have.
And it all comes full circle to this simple idea. The absolute key to success is their interest. And you build that interest through the joy of small victories, getting a new word right, singing a song together, winning a silly little game. Every single one of those wins builds momentum and a genuine love for learning. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if we just reframe the entire goal? Maybe it's not about teaching your child a subject. Maybe the real point is just to have an excuse to go on an adventure, to have fun, and to discover a whole new world of stories and songs and ideas together.